Have you heard of the Ghana Free Zones Authority? Do you know why companies in Ghana must join the Ghana Free Zones Authority? Join me as I get interactive with the CEO of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. His name is Mr. Michael Ocheribefi. Mr. Ocheribefi, when we talk about the Ghana Free Zones Board, could you give us the objective of the Ghana Free Zones Board?
Thank you very much. Free zones, in actual fact, is a customs territory. It is a territory that is somehow managed by the Customs, Excise and Preventive Service of Ghana. But it's a place that people who bring goods through are given incentives so they can be encouraged to do more export. So in other words, it's an investment promotional agency which is focused on targeting investment in export-oriented businesses or areas.
Okay.
So whatever we do, our interest is to focus on export.
Okay.
So the territory that we operate from, what we call an enclave, is a place that goods that passes through are exempted from duties and normal income taxes. So because it is a conscious means of government to encourage people in the private sector to do more exports so that the government will get more foreign exchange. So the objective of free zones, one is investment promotion, two being a form of an incentive through which government can encourage a lot of people to do export. It also encourages transfer of knowledge and technology, and it also creates a lot of employment.
Okay.
So the focal point is mostly through employment generation, because government through free zones will get a lot of businesses coming in to set up and doing more export, so they will employ people. They will also get a lot of foreign exchange. There will be also a lot of transfer of technology and knowledge, because those foreign direct investments that keep. So it is not only focused on foreign direct investment but also local investment. So when people come through foreign direct investment to do investment, they bring a lot of technology. They're able to transfer it to local people. They're able to transfer even knowledge of work to local people and create employment.
Okay, so talking about investment, are the investors okay with the kind of services or the kind of returns they receive when they get to Ghana? Are they satisfied with what they get here?
Definitely through free zones, because through free zones, one, government gives people who are licensed as free zone enterprises 10-year tax holiday. In Ghana, income tax is 25%. When you become a free zones company, you are exempted from paying income tax 25% for 10 years. Even after 10 years, you pay only 15%. Also, if you're a free zones company, the government exempts you for the payment of duties, direct and indirect taxes through import of raw materials to produce your goods or services for export. And also, government also exempts you from paying withholding taxes. See, these are benefits that will help you to save a lot of money. So the free zone enterprises that come through foreign direct investment are always happy, because they are able to get a lot of incentives that will help them to grow their business and also get more profit in terms of returns on investment.
Okay, so we'll say that investors are satisfied with what they get.
Very, very, very satisfied.
Okay, how many companies in Ghana are part of the free zone board?
Currently, the free zones companies are 201 actively working, 201 companies. But these companies are regulated by the Ghana Free Zones Authority. So the Ghana Free Zones Authority is a regulator. Somehow we also manage some of the enclaves, but our main focus is on investment promotion and regulation in terms of compliance and licensing, and sometimes we do a little management of enclaves. So 201 companies are in the system. operating as free zones enterprises or companies.
Okay, I want a little clarification here. What is the difference between the Ghana Free Zones Authority and the Ghana Free Zones Board? Is it the same thing?
Yes, the Ghana Free Zones Board has now metamorphosed into Ghana Free Zones Authority.
Okay.
Because now we are an authority.
Okay.
And no more board. When we're a board, we're operating the executive board system, but now we are still pushing. Of course, it has not come, but we've been given the status as an authority now. We are not operating as a board anymore.
Okay. Why should a company join?
Free zones encourages export because there's a percentage arrangement where those who want to come under the free zones concept in Ghana are supposed to export 70% of their goods or services.
Okay.
So whatever you produce, you can only sell 30% in Ghana. So before you can be licensed as a free zones enterprise or company, you have to be prepared to export 70%. The government does this through a conscious effort to give you incentive to be able to do that. So when you have you accept the fact that you want to export 70%, that's the first point. Then secondly, you have to also meet the criteria for us accepting you as a free zones enterprise.
Okay.
One, you have to apply through the office of the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Free Zones Authority to make a free zones company. Then you have to add your business plan and your EPA certification, and you also have to add your financials and location of business. You put all these things together plus the license form, then we will consider it. If we are sure that you want to come in to do business, to do export, chunk of whatever you're going to do is going to be an export, we will then license you as a free zones enterprise.
Do some of these companies who want to join find it difficult meeting some of your requirements? Does it take them some time to provide what you're asking for?
A lot of them, because sometimes most of the companies are not properly incorporated in Ghana. Before you have to be incorporated in Ghana. Most of them are not properly incorporated. What is more, most of them can also not meet the percentage of sales, because most of the companies would like to sell more in Ghana. But immediately you want to sell more in Ghana or internally, it means that you cannot do this offshore business, because this is a purely offshore business. We do more export, so most people find it difficult to qualify in that regard. Also, most of the free zones companies lack basic financial, so they are not able to prepare good financial statement to encourage us to see their financial position well, so that through that we'll be able to maybe license them or not. So these are some of the problems that we face with the free zones companies or potential companies that want to be licensed as free zones enterprises.
Okay, so that means you serve as a checkpoint to some of these companies, because if it hadn't been for them coming on board to register or be a member, they wouldn't have known that they should have gone through all these processes as a company.
Yes, because after you have been incorporated by the Registrar General Department, you have to still qualify through the free zones criteria, because the free zones we have our own standards, and so you have to meet it. So somehow you may see like that.
Okay, you made mention of some companies not being financially stable and all that. Does the free zones provide some kind of financial assistance to companies?
We only give them exemptions or incentives to do business, but we don't provide finances as in giving them money to do business. We don't do that.
What is the capital requirement for investors to get on board?
In free zones arrangement, we don't have a cap system. In other words, we don't have capital, a particular amount of money that you need to enter into free zones. This is a specialized arrangement. Therefore, any money you want to invest, you bring it, provided you meet the criteria and you are prepared also to export 70%. We can license you as a free zones enterprise. You don't need to have a specific amount of money. So it's not like doing investment through the GIPC. If you do investment through Ghana Investment Promotion Authority or Center, you should have a particular amount of money when you want to come in a particular category or you want to invest in a particular category of business. But with free zones, I mean, we don't have restrictions, provided you have money to invest and you have a sound financial backing and the evidence of external market and also a very good business plan. We'll look at it and see if you qualify or if everything is okay. We'll license you.
Okay, so then listening to you, it means being a member is not that difficult. There are lots of flexibilities in there.
Yes, you can say that. Just that, you know, in Ghana, it is the difficulty here. I guess it is about the percentages, people exporting 70%. That is the difficulty. Most people would like to sell the same, so that's the problem. But quite apart from that one, and I think one or two things, getting EPA certification has been the problem. From that, the rest, there's a lot of flexibility.
Okay, now let's get to the other side of the conversation. People have this notion, or there's this mentality out there that, oh, the Free Zones Board, when you go join them, they're just going to chop your money and go away. There's this thing about there's corruption. Could you please clear the air about this whole thing? People getting it all messy about the Free Zones Authority.
Free Zones is there to encourage export and to help the government generate a lot of foreign exchange. You know, every country can do so well when we do a lot of export. You know, then we can get a lot of foreign exchange, which will help us in our balance of payment stuff. Very, very important. And so the perception or misconception about the Free Zones being a corrupt institution, I mean, doesn't have a place in the things we do, because we have a very strict compliance regime. We make sure that we tell them to do the right thing, and if you don't do it, we are sanctioned. So we have very corrective measures and sanctions in case you flout the laws of the authority. So I don't believe in that. I believe that we are working well as a state institution, trying to contribute a quota and helping the government generate a lot of money and creating more employment for the people of this country, because that's the most important thing. So that conception or misconception doesn't have a place in the things we do as an authority.
Has the Free Zones Authority had issues with registered Ghanaian companies before, where some companies just wanted to back out and then do their own thing? Has there been issues like that?
A lot of companies mostly would like to do business, and when they think that they are having problems, they won't like to exit the system. That is also something that is available. I mean, people have that chance to exit if you want to exit, but you have to exit well. There should be a very good plan for exit, because you see, the government will give you incentives to do business. When you decide to exit, it means that you have to now order tax exemptions that you have enjoyed, you have to now pay.
Exactly.
And so it may create problem for you. So you have to understand the concept so well and how it works, so that tomorrow you will not say that the government was not very kind to you. These are the problems that we think people should understand before you understand.
But have you recorded any?
Not local companies, but mostly FDIs come and they are not able to do well in the country because maybe they may lose their markets. You know, the markets in most of the Free Zone companies have markets outside the country. So if you lose the markets, it may create a problem for you. Then you would like to exit. Okay. One or two companies have exited like that.
Listening attentively to you, you're speaking very well of the government. It looks like you've been getting massive support from almost all the governments coming. Is that true?
Yes. But you see, this government is doing something else with Free Zones.
Which the current?
Okay. We have a plan to change the authority. We have a plan to make the authority one of the best in Africa. Okay. Therefore, we are trying to shift the paradigm. You know, a paradigm of over concentrating our effort on foreign direct investment. We are changing the notion. Now we want to encourage a lot of local investment. What is more, we are also trying hard to make sure that we change the image of the board or the authority by now positioning the board at its proper level, so people get to understand what we do. It is not a mafia. It is not a cult. Free Zones is an investment. People should get to know of it, what we do. Yeah. We should be able to bring. So this government has a plan to change the face of free zones, and now we're going to focus so much. Ghana Free Zones Authority is going to focus so much on investment promotion, licensing and regulation, and acquisition of lands to develop enclaves and industrial parks. Because the government has a 10-point transformation agenda that must sit in the plan of free zones, so that we'll be able to push that government agenda forward. Because this plan we have must succeed at all costs, and we are poised to push it to succeed.
Great. Where do you see the Free Zones Authority in, let's say, let me just give you like 5 years? Where do you see it?
We see it to be among the best in Africa, like free zones in Morocco, and we may get so close to being like Morocco or Dubai or even Rwanda. We want to get to that level where people will see Ghana Free Zones as a unique free zones, because we operate one of the best systems in the world. We operate two systems, the enclave system and the single factory system, which is not done in most countries. So we believe that what we're doing looks so phenomenal. I mean, it is absolutely different from what other people do. And we believe that with that and the concept that we are running, we are trying to run a concept based on speed as a strategy in business, service quality, so that the last point is that we want to create a good image for them. So we are working on these 3-point pillars, trying to push the zones and also move finally to economic zones, not just free zones, but special economic zones.
Do you think companies that haven't come on board are missing something?
Definitely, we believe that if you are doing export and you have not come, it clearly shows that you are losing a lot of things, because you would have been able to save a lot of money through payment of taxes and duties. Because duties in Ghana, we all know, are very, very, very expensive. If you have free zone status and you are bringing raw materials and even machines to help in production, all these are exempted from duties, and therefore you'll be able to save that money. You can put the money back to your business, and the business will grow.
Right. I forgot to ask you about challenges. I know every institution definitely has challenges. Could you please give me some of your challenges here as an authority?
And the basic challenge we think as a problem now is about the perception of people and what we do, and also because free zones mostly is an investment promotion. We do mostly investment promotion, so we need a lot of funds to be able to do our businesses. So that's the problem we have basically for now. But we are trying to work hard to be able to generate a lot of money to run our business, and because it was the authority is supposed to be a government subvented agency, but government don't subvent us. So free zones take care of itself. So it's making us.
Which you think it's not really cool for you?
Yes, because we do all our things now. Because it's a one-stop shop. Most of the things the free zones enterprise pay, we use it to work for them. It's a one-stop shop. We do almost everything for them. The free zones enterprises. So if they need license, they come to us. If they need passport, they come to us. If they need visas, they come to us. So we use the money they pay to us to provide services. So then we need a lot of support to push us to be able to attain or achieve our set objective.
Should we expect something to draw the public's attention to say that we are not a corrupt institution like you think? Should we expect something?
We have started doing something like that. We are now working on the image of the brand, of the board's authority or the board interchangeably. We are trying hard to make sure that people understand what we do. So we are doing a lot of publicity. We are doing a lot of public education, trying to let the public know and appreciate what we do and what we stand for. And I guess it is helping us now. People now are asking a lot of questions about free zones, and a lot of people are making inquiries to want to be part of the system. So I hope maybe in the near future we'll get there first. Okay, my last question. In a few words, what would you like to tell government and Ghanaians who do not know about the Free Zones Authority? A few words, government and the general public. The free zones have come to stay. We want as many Ghanaians and foreigners who have money or excess funds to invest to come to Ghana. Because one, Ghana is the only country in West Africa that's surrounded by about 4 French-speaking countries. The population total for the sub-region is about 400 million. So if you come to Ghana, you're not only coming to Ghana to do business, you're not only serving the 25 million people, you are also serving the almost 400 million people. Ghana's politically, we are very stable, and that is our trump card in investment promotion. We believe that people should come here and do business because they have sound mind in doing business. And with government, we are poised to help the government achieve its 10-point transformation agenda.
Do you have plans of giving awards to companies who are on board and then recognizing their efforts?
We wanted to do that this year, but because time was very short. So next year we're going to have Free Zones Awards.
Okay.
For the first time. It's going to be the first time in the history of the Free Zone system, where we'll have awards like Club 100 awards and other awards. We'll do it for Free Zones.
That's hopefully next year.
Next year, it's coming on live.
I guess if you are a business owner now, you would love to be a member of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. Always remember to log on to www.kasapafmonline.com or Tish TV for more interesting stories in the world of business.